Hey, welcome to the process. My name is Dr. John Bush. This is FFPC Best Ball ADP info from 524, part 3. So I'm kind of just stream of consciousness looking at values of in each team. I converted ADP to a value number and my secret stuff there, and it allows us to look at the perceived value the public is seeing at this moment, and it allows us then to use that as a way to make decisions. I mean, that's what we're doing, right? A draft is a decision. We're making decisions. That's the whole point of it. So let's continue. This is part 3, so you need to go see part 1 and 2. Trying to get a drink here. Let me pop the top. Wow. Okay. Let's go. Rams. Stafford is a 61. QB 2, 3. I don't know. He really fell off last year. I know there were injuries and things. The public has deep concerns, as do I. However, which is interesting, and it's always this concept of Cooper Kupp here's 98, so he's like one of the top 2-3 wide receivers, 98. Doubt you'll get him too lower than 3-4 wide receiver. If you do, that may be worth something. I don't know. It's the concept, can you have a quarterback and still have a wide receiver 1 type? I've actually got the database. It's just the time it's going to take. I don't know if I'm going to get to do that research this year. But the good news is I think I've got the data to look at that question. And in fact, when I started thinking about that question, I wanted to also kind of think about what did that kind of team look like through the running back, the tight end, as well as the WRs. Kind of get a holistic view of that. So that's coming. I don't know if I'm going to get to it. When I get to it, I'll get to it sometime. No hurry. Nobody else is going to do it at all. All these experts, I don't know what the hell they do with their time. Sit around there and, I don't know, flap their chops on Twitter. Anyway, there's that conundrum. So, to me, when I see this scenario, it implies Kupp gets everything. And we know that's not true. And the public is saying Van Jefferson is a solid 4-5. So, he may be the play if you can get him as a 6. And they also have 2 others, 7-8 types, way out there. I guess if Kupp were to get injured, then some of these other ones would come into play. It's just like it's hard to figure out exactly what's going on there with the wide receivers. So I'm probably not reaching for Kupp, but if he does drop, I would consider him, but he's not like, oh, I gotta have him type. Passing tight end. Tight end Higbee is at 63, so it's a tight end 2-3 type in a tight end premium. He might be the 3rd tight end on my team. I'm not looking at him, but if he falls there and there's nobody else of interest, okay, maybe I'll take him But it's, again, nothing that's a big target. Running backs, Cam Akers, 82, so that seems to be an RB2 type. I guess he would be in your 0 RB list of plays to play. Zach Evans is half his value, so he would be a 4-5 type. And Kyren Williams is just a blip at a 7-8 type. I guess if Akers gets hurt, then that puts Evans up. I guess if you believe in Akers, then you'll probably, in a deep best ball league, you would probably swing around and grab Evans just to kind of have the handcuff. But it just, it's not really jumping out there to me. I think the public's kind of telling you his value. But if your opinion is Akers is, a solid RB2, then I guess Evans would be a solid RB4 who I'd want to get at 5 value, right? Or so. 6, obviously, would be nice. Okay, so it's kind of like, nothing really jumping out at me there. Vegas is interesting. Garoppolo at a 56. So the public says he's a QB3, in my opinion. And basically, they don't have any. So it's like, what, they're not going to pass? I don't know. So, but yet, Devontae Adams is there. So here we go again. We got a underwhelming quarterback with a WR1 type wide receiver. So it's the old chrononym. That's why that research needs to be done. I do want an answer to that. I do need to do this work. I need to find out on average what is that situation. What's my uncertainty level there? I mean, Adams can be great, but if Garoppolo's a flop, then what you got? You got a one that's delivered 2-3 values. So I guess Adams, I see uncertainty there. I think the public is seeing it, yet they're kind of ignoring it. So that's kind of interesting. Myers came over from the Patriots as a 60, so he's a 4-5 type, seems to me, and Renfro is a 6 type, so I guess Myers and Renfro might be the value if you can get them below cost. So that is more intriguing to me than Adams at value. Okay. Tight end, I think I'll let you have them. I will note Hooper is probably better than an 18, but given Garoppolo, I don't know. He's probably going to be the kind that if Garoppolo does need a tight end and he does rely on Hooper, notice the if scenarios, then he'll be somebody that you'll wish, if he has a great connection, wish you would draft it, but right now you're too scared to. And the public's saying the same thing, so it's not like you should beat yourself up. So that's a stretch. I think I'm going to let you stretch for him. I'm going to pass. So here we go, circle back to Jacobs again. So it looks like the public is saying rushing is going to play a big role there. If you think the public's wrong about Adams, then it seems Jacobs is the thing, and then Zamir White at 26, you would think he's a bargain at price. That is intriguing. Abdullah, Bolden, they could be, 20th pick out the door kind of plays. Zamir, probably somebody I'd want to back up with Jacobs. So if I grab Jacobs in an RB1 scenario, I think I'd stretch for White later. I think you'd kind of be locked in to to not, you'd need to take him there. So that's kind of how I would see that. I think there's a lot to be figured out in Vegas. Miami, Tua at an 80, so he's a solid QB2 type. You would think he would be moving up, but public's still not convinced, which is interesting. Yet, get this. So not only do we have one, but we have two WR1 types, Hill and Waddle. So it implies these guys are getting everything and ignore the rest of them. It's either this one or that one. Maybe that does confuse. There's not going to be a tight end. Smythe is just a red zone, gamble. I'm letting you pick him up. So again, when I see this, it just leaves me uncertain. I wish I had some research to back up this play here. And you're thinking, well, maybe they'll be rushing a lot. Well, they're relying on the RB3. DA there. A Wilson at a 57. Mostert a 55. So they can't pick the two, or, which would be the 4 type. So I would take Wilson or Mostert as a 5, and I think I'd pass on the rookie at his, if he drops, okay. If he's a 3-4 type, then if you can get him at a 5 and get Wilson or Mostert at a 6-7, then okay, maybe you got something. Again, nothing that I'm jumping up and down about here. I guess that's it. Is, what's Hill and, it's hard to walk away from Hill and Waddle, but I don't know. I'm probably too conservative on when I see this. This worries me, right? This concerns me. Okay. Let me go to Minnesota. Cousins at an 83. Jefferson at a 100. So can a 2 quarterback support a Jefferson? If Jefferson is the best thing, public says yes, he's the number 1, then he should be able to get open and earn his value. What I think is intriguing is they got Addison at a 3-4 over Osborne at a 4-5, and I would take Osborne 4-5 over Addison right now. I think that's the value play there. It's Hawkinson. I think Hawkinson could surprise this year and be a solid top tight end 1 type, and I think the public sees that at a 92. So he could be one of the sub-elites. I think Kelsey is the one, and then you got Andrews, Hawkinson, people arguing Pitts, Goddard gets a little shaky, but Hawkinson seems a solid 3rd tight end, off the board there. Seems solid at price. I would probably and have taken him already. Cook, there's all this thing that he's not going to be around. If that's the case, Madison would be a value at 72 at an RB3. He would be a 2 type. Then that would move McBride up and Chandler. So if Cook is moved, then the value you can get on Madison, McBride, and Chandler is all gravy. If Cook doesn't move, then Madison may be overpriced. And it might be you take McBride or Tyler later. So right now, given I guess I'm going to assume Cook is there. I don't know. Seems like he's a 0 RB target, and I could take him in my 0 RB suite of RBs that I would take in the 5th round. If you could get him there, that would be fine. I wouldn't reach for him. Madison is the tricky one there. I think he might be overpriced. and I would look probably elsewhere if Cook is on the team. Did I get everybody? I think I did. I like Osborne, and I like Chandler McBride late. And Cousins would be a solid, QB2 type, QB1 late type. Yeah. Okay. New England, Matt Jones is a 3. And he's throwing to Juju at a 65 at a 4. If I can get Juju at a 5.6, I'm all about that. And Thornton at a 6.7. And Devontae Parker is the tricky one. He may be worth your last wide receiver 7-8 type. He's streaky. And in best ball, you might want him as well. So there is a suite here. Gesicki and Henry, they love those tight end, 2 sets. They're being drafted as 3s and 4s. So, Gesicki or Henry's maybe worth a 3. I'm not overpaying for them, but if they're there, it'd be okay. Nothing's, jumping out at me. Stevenson at a 92, so he's probably that fringe RB1, 2 type. He could be on the board if you're doing 0 RB, but I doubt it. Robinson is intriguing to me at his price, and so is Pierre Strong. I think those are solid 5s that you might get at 6 or 7 value. So I would definitely, in best ball, be picking Robinson and Strong up all day long. That seems like a solid play. And I guess that's about it on those. I think that's pretty straightforward how you should play that. Carr is a 2 type. He's a 70, yet Olave is a 91. So here we go again. A WR1 with a QB2 type. Still, notice this 3rd, 4th, 5th team that we've had this conundrum. The public is saying, they're going to get it anyway. Boy, I think you're going to be sweating a lot of leagues, especially in redraft this year. If you overpay for Olave, I would love him as a 2 type. I think his name and everything, you're not going to get him there. Thomas, I think he is way uncertain. And Rashid, to me, is the solid 5-6 play that I would cherry pick late. And that would be my play there. Juwan Johnson, to me, at his price, is probably worth it right now. And I could see you taking Hill as your 3 because he can have 2 or 3 games where he gets 2 or 3 touchdowns, just gets crazy, and then he disappears. In redraft, I don't want him, but in best ball, he could be a good 3 as well. Johnson definitely is a great 3 and a probably okay 2. Carr, he's somebody I'm streaming with some other people with. He's not going to be my QB1, but I would take him in a stream scenario. So the confusion to me is Kamara, Williams, and Kendall Miller. It looks like the public is ranking Kamara, Williams, and Miller, but I think they're overpriced Miller. I think Jamal might be the play at the price, and maybe Kamara at an RB3. You might get him at a 4. If you can get Williams and Kamara as your 4, I think that's worthy of play. I think I'd wait on Miller to get him as a 5. And Benjamin's on the radar. If something happens to Kamara with his legal thing, then I guess your best ball teams you're drafting now, cha-ching, and maybe that's what the public is thinking with Miller. I guess if you have that scenario in your head, that might explain his value. So I could see that. So you're relying on your best ball whether Kamara can slip out the legal this year or not. I don't know what the hell, who knows what's going on there. Tricky. This is a tricky scenario here. Okay. The Giants, Daniel Jones, perennial QB2. Every year he gets streaky and has some good games, and then he disappears. And this year, his suite of wide receivers, the public can't figure it out. Look at this, 52, 40, 37. So they kind of say Jalen Hyde is the 3-4 type. Wan'Dale Robinson is the 5, and Hodgins is the 5. Slayton is the 6-7. I like Slayton as your last WR, and Paris Campbell gets my attention last, a WR8, 7-8 type. So those intrigue me more than the top pair. I'm just not sure. And I think the public is telling you, don't be sure about that. Looks like Waller is the public is enamored. And if it got all about Bellinger got streaky. I guess in redraft you have Waller. You definitely want Bellinger on your speed dial on your waiver wire. Waller's hit or miss. Maybe he needs a new place to go. I guess a solid TE2. I would definitely want to take him with another TE2 and try to stream. So I would try to look at strength of schedule. And if I did grab Waller at price, I'd want somebody else right there at the 9-10 round. I'd want two tight ends right back to back, that stream potential there. Barkley 97, he's an RB1. I don't think you're going to get him as an RB2. Gray is his handcuff. Barkley has a few weeks. He's always out. So Gray might be a play. I just don't know in best ball. I think there are better handcuffs elsewhere personally. But in a redraft down the road, I could see you stashing him. So that doesn't seem too bad. See, Daniel Jones, which is interesting, is higher than some of the ones. I mean, Tua was an 80. Look at Daniel Jones, it's 79 basically. Tua has 2 WR1s. Look at who Jones has. WR3, 4, 5, 6s. See how that doesn't balance here? It's like, is Jones overpriced? Or they're thinking Barkley's going to open it up and he can pass to Waller? Is Waller going to get that much attention? Boy, this is big time uncertainty for me here. Okay, I think I'll do one more. We'll do one more. Jets. Aaron Rodgers is a QB2 type, and he's got Wilson to throw to. Rodgers has shown he can produce a WR1 type. So is the public undervaluing him? I think at price, it'd be okay. I'm not going to reach for him, but if he drops in my lap, if I don't have an elite QB, then I guess I would have Rodgers. But I'd want to stream somebody, another QB2 type, like a Tua or something with Rodgers. Maybe that's your stream. That way you would, supposedly the public would say you'd have 4 WR1s to shoot for. Maybe that's the way to play that. Tight end, Conklin, he's a 3. Yeah, maybe. I'm not looking for him. But on occasion, the only reason Conklin might be 2, tight end 2, is that Rodgers does love a tight end. And if him and Conklin can match, then 51 is a value for Conklin. And you're happy. So it's a gamble, but there you go. Breece Hall is an RB1. Don't think you'll get him as an RB2. Probably not get him as a 0 RB play. He'll be gone. Mr. Israel Benkadata, maybe, and probably butchered that name. 51. Carter at a 34. I like Carter at a 34 at the bargain. That's who I would take there. And Knight, I would take him as well. My RB8 type. You never know. If something happens, then Carter and Knight could roll up, and I have no idea on this other cat. I guess must be a rookie. I think the public, I don't know what they're thinking. I would lean Carter and Knight in that scenario there. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, come back. We'll have part 4. I'll go over some more teams. Woo woo, we're having fun.